Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is part 2 of Capricorn Clark's testimony, the cross-examination from Diddy's defense team. This is again from Law and Crime. One of the first things that they mentioned is that Capricorn Clark, she's throwing shade at Cassie.
There was a lot of questions about her relationship with Cassie, her views on Cassie. She went back to work with Cassie in 2016.
Because there were times during direct testimony, during cross testimony, that I was just kind of like, did she care about Cassie? Were they really friends? Because I feel like from Kid Cudi's explanation, he had explained that Capricorn Clark was a great friend to Cassie. But from Capricorn, it seemed like Cassie was kind of the root of why she was fired. And she seemed like she kind of held a grudge a little bit about that. Cagnifilo was cross-examining Capricorn Clark. But as far as just Cassie and her relationship, she said these issues kind of began around 2008 when Cassie and Diddy started dating. And Capricorn had explained that Cassie's expectation level was increasing. She went from being kind of a sweet model to a feisty girlfriend. That's what she said on the stand. Then they kind of got into Cassie's talent range in a way where essentially the defense and Capricorn were saying that she had talent, but she wasn't talented. And, these are not coming from my own mouth, but that was something that was being discussed while on the stand. And so Capricorn explained that Cassie was more of a studio artist and not necessarily a live performer. And it's something that I think Cassie had owned while she was testifying, where she had talked about just some rough live performances that she had had, especially during her start in her music career. And Capricorn was explaining that Cassie's live performances didn't go that well because Cassie was nervous and she had a lot of nerves going on. Then the defense brings up Cassie's drug use and whether or not that prevented her from being a good performer. But Capricorn said that Cassie wasn't a hard worker when they had moved to Los Angeles. So this was around the 2009-ish time frame. But she said that Cassie was hardworking before. And so Capricorn was saying that Cassie got a lot of support from Diddy and from Diddy's businesses as far as, getting access to stylists and choreographers and some of the best of the best. And I think, the defense is trying to point out that Cassie wasn't struggling for anything, essentially, because it was all provided to her and that she was a lot more successful possibly than maybe some of the jurors had realized. And so Capricorn was asked, were there other artists in Bad Boy getting less attention? And Capricorn responded, yes.
Why Capricorn Clark's throwing that kind of shade? I don't know if that's even necessary, but she's sure saying it, whether you agree or not. Yeah, and Capricorn Clark watched Cassie, who she would describe as someone that's not really talented. She said this in the testimony, that's not really talented, has talent, but Diddy was giving her like an army of people to help her with choreography, styling, everything to shape her into a pop artist. And I'll get into that in another interview. I've done a video about Cassie's beginnings, the team that put Cassie's brand together in the first place, and it wasn't Puff Daddy. Diddy's defense team, and what they asked of her, they was getting to it. I mean, they're questioning Capricorn Clark, but it's as much about Cassie as it is Capricorn Clark. Her level of talent, what she brings, and that Cassie had an attitude herself. That's what she's presented. It's like this chick was no walk in the park. And I thought that the defense just really played pity pat when Cassie and her mother were on the stand. But they're taking this opportunity to really direct the jury to see what they think was going on with Cassie Ventura. And it's not flattering. And I'm not talking about the X-rated stuff, just her position in Diddy's life and continuing to stay in that orbit of Diddy when she really wasn't producing as an artist and Diddy was having his escapades anyway.
She would even explain too, just kind of, we've heard from other assistants too, again, David James, again, George Kaplan, just about hotel stays and that they would kind of set up the hotel rooms. But I thought it was interesting hearing about this from Capricorn Clark because, again, thinking about this time frame, 2004 to 2006, she was already setting up hotel rooms. And this was prior to the Cassie relationship because according to Capricorn Clark, she was setting up hotel rooms that Diddy would even stay at with Kim Porter, and he would stay with Kim Kim Porter about once a week. She was asked to pack and unpack things. She said that some of the aliases used for Diddy's girlfriends at the time, again, this before Cassie, was Jackie Star, surprisingly a name that Cassie had used as one of her aliases. And the names that Diddy was still booking hotel rooms under were Frank Black, Frank White, but according to Capricorn, she said some of her duties even included unpacking Diddy's clothes, his shoes, but also his toiletry bag, something that was a Louis Vuitton bag. And she said what was in the Louis Vuitton bag beyond toiletries? Well, drugs, including drugs like ecstasy. And according to Capricorn Clark, ecstasy was kind of a big drug that Diddy was using a lot of the time while she was working with him. But she said she also was told to unpack a camera box. And she said inside the camera box was a camera, but also it was other items like lube and baby oil.
Really, really helps the defense that Diddy has been moving this way since God knows when. It predates Cassie. Even with Kim Porter, the mother of his children, Diddy has had this affinity for baby oil and setting the mood in his own particular way for the particular way that he likes to get down. It is really this man's real private business that I don't think he would want nobody. I know he don't want nobody knowing this, but this is not new to Cassie.
That surrounded himself with. Now, real quick, did she say anything about Kid Cudi's car being set on fire, the investigation into that? That was a big, big factor in this case. Goes to arson, which is one of the underlying crimes of racketeering. Kid Cudi said that he not only feels that his house was broken into by Combs and his associates, but that his car was set on fire. What did she say about that?
Yeah, so she said that actually an arson investigator reached out to her in the summer of 2012. So Kid Cudi and the Molotov cocktail was lodged into his car in January of that same year. But by the summer, Capricorn Clark said that she was reached out to by an arson investigator, and that Kid Cudi was the one who gave this investigator Capricorn Clark's name. And so Capricorn said that she actually hung up with the investigator, didn't give a statement to this person, and that Diddy asked Capricorn about why she didn't tell him about Kid Cudi, and that Diddy had threatened to cut her face and kill her. That's what she had said on the witness stand. And she had said that D-Rock, again, a security guard that we've heard about a number of times throughout other witness testimony, and Cassie were present during these threats that were made to Capricorn. And so Capricorn explained that her relationship with Cassie actually kind of changed after this incident, and she being Capricorn Clark, actually told Harv Pierre and HR what had happened about her being kidnapped by Diddy. And she told them, Puff kidnapped me and threatened to kill Kid Cudi. And what had happened was that it wasn't a situation where it was investigated or that, Harv Pierre or HR had spoken to Diddy, or maybe they did speak to Diddy. But according to Capricorn Clark, what happened to her is that she got a 30-day notice to essentially leave her job. She said it was essentially just kind of a way that they had used a loophole to say that she wasn't taking her vacation time properly. And so she was given a 30-day notice and was terminated by August of that year. So Capricorn told HR that Diddy was harassing her because she didn't tell Diddy about Cassie seeing Kid Cudi.
With this case, nothing is as it seems. If this is supposed to speak to forced labor and control, why did Diddy so easily let go of her by the time this conflict happened? You know about your boss's mate doing something that you're in the middle of that. She knew it wasn't a good idea. Diddy found out about it and didn't want nothing to do with her no more. So he fired her. I'm sure she hated losing her job. At the same time, I wonder why, because your life was under constant threat. So him releasing you should have been kind of a godsend. It should have been bittersweet, I guess, because you're living in fear. So getting away from this dude over something that's kind of frivolous, that'd be a good way to go out instead of going out over something involving Suge Knight, because that seems like the deep, heavy stuff. If he threatened you about that on day one of your interview, you should have been, actually, you could have walked away from day one I think I would back up. Somebody said that to me. I'd be like, whoa, let me back up. But she lost a lot when the puffy life, the puffy The Puffy lifestyle, she lost all of those benefits and she didn't want to. It just seems to support what Diddy's presenting. These people were in my life because they wanted to be in my life. I mean, there's still people that want to be in Puffy's life. As quiet as it's kept, he's just not a popular dude right now. And he is, I didn't say it, he's in a lot of trouble. Diddy is in enough trouble. I hope I don't upset anybody thinking about the defense. The weight of this is on the prosecution to prove their case. Diddy is, I mean, he's a scoundrel. There's no way around it. But the punishment has to fit the crime. So they want to charge this man in the high court in front of a grand jury. Kid Cudi's destroyed, vandalized his car. The female fingerprints, who do they belong to? A lot of questions. And I don't know. There's going to be some more surprises. Anyway, I thank y'all for joining me. Let me know what y'all think. Please leave a comment. I will be here for the length of this trial, even if I have to just jump on my phone. Thanks for joining me. Let me know what y'all think. Until I see you the next time, keep living your life like it's golden. Peace.